Are we live? Are we live? How do I sound? How do I sound? So we sound. Are we live? Are we live? How do I? Looks like we're good. This lighting's making me look fat. Sounds decent. Decent is good enough for me. Probably turn it up a bit too if I need to. Or just get my mouth closer to this. So guys, today we're kind of just going to be hanging out and chatting. There's a lot of constant, this person lied and that person lied and blah, blah, blah. Because I guess if you don't talk about something, it means you lied about it. Because that's how it works to low IQs. But yeah, we're going to catch up. You guys can ask me anything. If you ever think I lied about something, ask me. Let's get into it. Let's have a in-depth, honest conversation about shilling all of it. All of it, people. Also, my allergies. Not the time. Not the time. Do 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 do. Everyone lies. Here's a fun story. When I was like 14 or 15, I stole $20 from my mom's purse. And in the middle of the night, her and my older sister came, flipped over the couch, found the money. I never lied since. And I'm finding out the reason I get so awkward when it comes time to lie is, the ADHD leading into being on the spectrum and having justice sensitivity, BS, and a whole bunch of reasons. Let's go through these chats. Sounds even better now. Okay, so I just gotta deep throat this mic. Intermittent pauses. We got something. Do promise to lie about the answer. That could be a fun game. I can make up a lie. J-Dog. Mr. J-Dog. Man, it is already hot today, guys. Jeez. Dog is doing much better. She is walking. She is still limping, though. Hey, I'm going to grab my coffee real quick. Got me some cold brew today because it's way too damn hot for my typical cappuccino. 1000%. People are just, I think the issue in our space is people make cameras their identity. And, when people start talking about their identity, they get defensive or offensive. And it all circles back, they've kind of lost, maybe they lost a little bit of their artistic soul, and that soul went all into the gear. So this is the dangers of putting your self-worth into the internet or gear or anything that is an object. If you put your self-worth into that, you're just going to be let down, and oh yeah. People have been using my name for clickbait, so I might as well use my own name for clickbait, eh? What up? What up? I appreciate that, brother. ADHD, people think it's real cute and like fun to talk about, but in reality, like almost every day, I have like almost near breakdowns, and I'm just saying internally, I wish I did not have this. Because if I didn't, have to deal with all of this, if you have ADHD, it's kind of a lot to deal with sometimes. And it can hold you back a little bit. Yes, it is that awesome. Would I recommend it for somebody who only makes videos every once in a while? If you're doing maybe like high grade stuff, sure, maybe if you can afford it. But if you're just doing simple stuff, just use your wireless app. Like, I think Sony has the best camera wireless app. And then Lumix might be second best. Nikon's right there too. But Sony definitely has the best one. And they get the job done. But you guys know the type of stuff that I make. It's I'm getting far from the camera a lot. I'm doing intense lighting rigs and everything, going back and forth from the camera. I'm just a little more intense with the way I film sometimes. And so a wireless app is a headache because every time you got to use your phone to like look at your notes or anything else, you got to go off the wireless app. And then sometimes when you go back into it, you got to reconnect it, and then it starts messing up and you have to reboot your camera and blah, blah, blah. So for me, the monitor is a necessity. For you, it might not be. And so if it's not, just use the wireless app. Honestly, you sound more sick than Allergies. So I'm trying not to sniff in the mic because people thought I was doing drugs last time. I think you nailed it. People make their equipment choices their identity, then they defend it and take everything personally. Yep. It's odd. When I got started in photography and making money off it and stuff, we only had DSLRs. I think the Fujifilm X-T2, after like 3 or 4 years of me shooting, I started to realize that was a thing. No one was paying attention to Sony back then. There's a lot of Canon DSLRs in the fashion world and some Nikon stuff as well. And we looked at cameras purely for, they all kind of did the same thing. They all had optical viewfinders, and if you needed faster burst rates, you would get a bigger one. If you need a full frame, more megapixels, you would splurge. But other than that, that's all you had. And so we didn't look at gear of like, oh, I shoot this because of this and that and this. It's kind of just like, I don't know, I just got this camera. It just works for what I do. There was no other features to it. So we looked at cameras for what they could do. We didn't look at what it couldn't do, because back then the cameras couldn't do a whole lot of things. And so my relationship with gear now is the same thing. I don't look at gear as like what it can't do. I look at it as like, this is a tool. What tool or what job is this tool for? That's still my perspective. So also too, a lot of people get it twisted with YouTubers thinking we are all fucking review channels. We have Gerald Undone. We don't need another Gerald Undone. He covers everything. Every time there's a camera release, I immediately go to Gerald Undone's videos because I know he's going to have all those like little details that I might not need. But when the times comes when I do need it, I can always go back to Gerald's video and I know the information will be there. Jesus Christ. I didn't take my allergy medicine. I probably should take it today. And so it's weird because you have smaller channels who will say, oh, this YouTuber's lying to you. But they're also trying to do paid sponsorships and sell stuff and all this. So I think people are getting confused thinking, oh, this person's getting paid to review stuff. It's like, no. I'm not, me personally, Cam Mackey, I don't get paid to review stuff. I get paid sometimes if I like a piece of gear and they want me to showcase it. They want me to share it. If they want me to share my perspective on why I like it. That's kind of what I do here online. Because I don't know if you guys can tell, but I vomit my brain onto the internet. I am not a review channel. I don't do movie reviews. I don't do any of that. I purely just like to make shit, and I share my process of the shit I like to make. That's all it is. And, whether that's paid work, like in the commercial space, or my own personal work that I'm just doing just to fucking put on YouTube. That's all I do. So again, if I'm covering something, I'm simply covering why I like it, why I like to use it. If I don't like it, I send it back. There's actually a few things that I'm about to send back today to different companies. And, you know, sometimes they get pissy. I might not be able to work with them again because maybe they're counting on my video being like the main video, you know. But it's like, if I don't like it, I don't have fucking time to cover it. Everybody in the chat who has ADHD, they can vouch for this. If we are not interested in something, we cannot do it. We do not have the willpower. We do not have the physical or mental energy to talk about it. And sadly, that's just how ADHD is. I'd probably be making way more money if I didn't have that issue. But I have that issue. And I'm happy I have that issue at times. At times. Diagnosed with ADHD at 16. I'm loving your openness about the struggles with it. How do you manage tasks and content creation with it? Brother, when I was producing more music, it's kind of the same thing of like, I would really beat myself up over the days I wasn't working. And I would do everything else but the task I needed to do just to make myself feel like I was doing that task. But at the end of the day, when you're laying in bed, you hate yourself because you didn't just do it. And so when it's the good days, I try to capitalize on them. And I try to take full advantage and really get my brain to keep rolling. So I have the blessing to be able to do that because I've kind of stubbornly shaped my life around my ADHD without knowing it. But that's why every day job I've ever had, I would like self-sabotage myself almost at the job. I wouldn't do that, but I would do the bare minimum. Even if the managers knew I could do better, I was like, I would straight up tell them like, I'm still making quota. Like, I don't care if you want me to do better. Like, I'm doing what you pay me to do. And I would hate life. But every time I had that, oh my God, I would get so much drive to like go and create more. So also on YouTube, you know, we can get spoiled sometimes and forget that, blessing. So, sometimes I forget it. Sometimes I don't. The other hard part too is when it comes to rates and stuff, obviously, you know, there's some careers that get paid crazy money. And so when you know that you could produce something and you could really, you know, scream why you find whatever important, you know, that's where it's like when you, like trying to mix the balance of being humble for humble rates, but also being aggressive and realizing your worth. That's the hard part. Real tangents here. Yeah, that does work, but it's never as like fluid as like a traditional wireless system. Something you like. I think the only problem is when people crap on you because you like something or vice versa. Brother, you are explaining exactly what we're just talking about. You feel like if someone's crapping on you because you use a product, you're taking that personally. But if you didn't put any of your self-worth into that product and someone said something mean about you because you use something, you would just be like, so I don't care, because your self-worth isn't in that piece of gear. Do you get what we're saying? So you're kind of just proving my point right now, bud. This is why it's really important. This is, again, I think this is the issue that's happening on YouTube is you have a lot of gearheads that get into gear as a hobby, but they're maybe not an artist. And so their focus is on the gear, not the art. When you do that, you fall into these traps here. Oh, that's weird. Are you on their... They have different sites. So if you're on the US site, you might not be able to purchase it for those countries. But I think they have different sites for different countries. So that might be it. Okay, J-Dog asks, is Leica really better or are people just flexing? I know the answer, but I feel like people are always curious. Oh, it's my Flavor Flav. It's my bling bling. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's why I spent so much money on all that gear just for bling bling. Watches? No. Motorcycles? A little bit. Cars? No. I'm just kidding. So let's use this example. I bought a 1991 Ford F-150 4x4, 8-cylinder. No one needs that. I don't need that. It's unnecessary. but I absolutely fucking love it. It makes me happy. When I drive it, it reminds me what it is to engage with the process of enjoying a car ride, because it's a stick shift. It's bouncy. It's not the smoothest thing out there. And there's something just so grounding about that experience. And it's poetic. And I am an artist, so, you know, I'm allowed to be poetic if I want to be poetic. And I'm allowed to buy a $10,000 truck if I want to. Even if I shouldn't be spending that much money, I'll figure it out. That's how I live. So it's the same thing with Leicas. Leicas really move me. They really inspire me. They re-engage me with the process, and they don't make me feel like I'm about to do a job. They make me feel like I'm about to create and just enjoy the process. I use 3 different systems for work and fun. I enjoy all of them equally. Defending one brand, don't know, covering for something else. Yep. I've always, even before I was doing YouTube, you know, I always was going from brand to brand, trying different things because I was doing fashion work. I was shooting really high-end bougie influencers. And then I started getting into filmmaking. That's a totally different beast. You know, there's times where I was trying to like vlog or just document my process. And then the film experience, my X-Pan cameras, all that kind of stuff. Like every brand, every camera, you can all utilize them for different things. I am top 1% IQ as a member, but that screwed up my brain in other ways. Could live without having to go to bed an hour early just to give my mind time to slow down. Good can also have. Yeah, dude. I had to start taking like sleep gummies, THC, CBD, and there's something else in it because it takes me forever to fall asleep. And once I fall asleep, for some reason around 3 a.m. on the dot, I would wake up and my brain, I'd wake up with just thoughts, million thoughts. So those sleep gummies help me get a good like 5 or 6 hours. So I'm just kind of used to that. Hey, we got Big Head Terry Warfield up in the house. I used the Blazar Remus 50mm at the DJI LiDAR on a wedding for the first time. The shots turned out great. Thanks for featuring it back when it came out. Yeah, I think the Remus line, the B set specifically, still my favorite Blazar lenses because I love the Mantis, but the bokeh is too clean for me sometimes. Again, people think I'm all about like, oh, Blazar. No. I liked the Blazar Remises so much because they had so much texture to them. And the Mantis don't have that texture, which I'm kind of scared that maybe Blazar's next lenses, they're going to go cleaner with them, which I'm like, I don't want cleaner. I want all the texture and the defects or the character or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I want sharpness at the same time. So I'm hoping they don't clean them up too much. But that's kind of a catch-22 because if you want sharper, you kind of have to go cleaner to get that sharpness. So I'm actually shooting on the, sorry, some condensation came off my finger. I'm actually using the Atlas Mercury 42mm right now for this live. I whipped it out. I was like, I haven't shot with this in a while. All the YouTube reviews said I should hate the Lumix 26 f8, but I use it literally every day on my S9. It's an amazing lens, in my opinion. I just wish my S9 wasn't having back wheel issues. Oh, bro, Connor's S9 started to have back wheel issues too, so that must be a common issue. That camera does feel cheap. It feels like plasticky almost, which I never loved that, but the size of it's so fucking convenient. Yeah, I really had a lot of fun with that 26mm f8 while in Japan. But that's because in Japan, there's a lot of street stuff that to like shoot. To where here back home in my little wholesome, quaint town, that lens wouldn't really do much. But if I lived in like New York City, I'd probably use that lens a lot more. Yes, Seth, you hit the nail on the head. Seems like some folks confuse an advert, a showcase, a review, and general content. Yes. It's kind of crazy that we're all adults here, and people are confusing the word review for other things, you know? And so as a tube doucher, I think it's going to start being our responsibility to start separating those terms and defining those terms. So what we would always just call a review, knowing that average IQ person would be able to be like, oh, he meant like, you know, he's showcasing blah, blah, blah. We now have to really, you know, be particular because there's a lot of like uneducated people on the internet now. And we have to say, okay, guys, this isn't a review. This is a showcase. Let me hold your hand. Let me zip up your zipper for you. And you know, let me wiggle it out for you. Cause apparently you don't know the difference. So yeah, that's what we're going to have to start doing. Is that a flying tying vise in the window? A what? A what? Flying tying vise in the window. I don't know what that is. A flying what? Maybe he meant a Italian vise or something. I don't know what that means. Saw the Sammy 35 150 in one of your videos. Do you still use it? Do you recommend it for a video as well? I absolutely fucking love that lens. There's something special to it. It's basically the same thing as I think Tamron had it, which I really love theirs as well. But the fact that it's such an odd focal length and aperture, and obviously, you know, they're going to try to make it look high quality. It's only so high quality they can make it. And so there's some character to it. There's some distortion when you're zoomed all the way in. There's some like slight swirliness. And then when you're wide open and just all the way zoomed out, there's a slight subtle softness to it because there's a lot of glass in there. So I absolutely love that lens. I mainly use it for photography, but we've been using it a lot on like BTS for like talking head stuff and all that. But this has been my main setup. I didn't think this out because now the mic stands in the way of the camera, but maybe we'll move it. Well, if you guys have any questions about the Lumix S12, let me know. And of the monitor, we'll get into that as well. How do you make the DJI LiDAR accommodate for the extra glass in front of the sensor? We do the Mofage VND. You have to just recalibrate all your lenses. So all my lenses, I calibrate with the Mofage Poco on there because then it's all going to be the same. Yeah, I have it. I've been loving it because it has D-Log M on it, which D-Log M has a lot of support. And so it's been great. But yeah, I do believe it should be coming. That's all I can say. But if you're in the US and you've been looking at the DJI Osmo 360, I would say stay tuned. I might have said too much. Don't sue me, DJI. Do you find that even through a video of a piece of equipment sent to someone, even though it is not sponsored, still pressures for a positive review because if not, won't send more stuff to you? I don't know. That's up to the person. If you have a backbone, then no, you shouldn't be worried about that. And if the brand doesn't want to fuck with you, then oh well, there's a million other brands. So I can only speak for myself. And this is the other issue. You have people grouping every fucking YouTuber together thinking we're all just ants. And it's like, it's funny because it's some of the, I don't say this in a condescending way, but it's the smaller channels just talking a lot of shit about bigger channels. But the reality is once they start getting opportunities, they will see it's like, oh, now I feel the pressure. Should I say something positive? They're projecting. It's called projection because if they have the opportunities, that's the thought that will go through their mind. Personally, for me, as I'm only speaking for myself, I don't have that thought. I'm not like, oh, should I say something nice because blah, blah, blah. In reality, I battle more with this is how I feel about this product, but I know my audience might not agree with that. So I need to figure out a way to communicate both sides without being attacked. That's what it's getting towards now. Like I'm almost fucking about to call it quits here talking about gear ever again and just make poetic videos. Like people are making it exhausting. I think, the other side of my brain, I would never do that because you're letting the dweebs win then if we do that. So, yeah, they're incredibly annoying. Jesus Christ. And, you know, I hope that one day they get opportunities, but in order to do that, they have to be likable and they have to make good work. So, if they never get it, then they're just going to keep yapping. And they'll probably clip this and use it without my permission because they have no morals. They have no backbone. They project. The spy over product's multiple downfalls, intentionally misleading and lying by proxy. Not saying you do this, but saying it's rightful in the community. Let me read that one again. I do think creating a positive product review in spite of product's multiple downfalls is intentionally... Okay, Alex, this is the fucking issue, though. If I like a camera for totally different reasons than you would ever like a camera, but you think I'm being unintentionally positive, that's your own fucking issue. Because in your mind, you're like, oh my God, this person's not covering the things that I find important, so they must be lying. How, stupid is that? We really got to fix our education systems in this world. Because it's like, since when does that count as lying or being misleading? Oh my God. The internet's it's forever proving that people are dumber than we think. Alex, I'm not saying you're dumb, but I'm saying that mindset can lead to really stupid, mindsets. Why is it we can get more views on YouTube and on TikTok, almost nothing? I love film and low quality content gets recognized for stupidity and hard work. I don't know. I don't fuck with TikTok personally. I don't have the energy, and I don't use TikTok. I don't get it. I leave that for the youth. There was a massive Canon versus Nikon rivalry back when I got started in 2010, and both of those groups had people very dismissive of Sony when they were going with full frame. Yep. Some were, sure. I feel like a Leica is like a Rolex. Do you need to... spend. He meant spend $10K to be able to tell the time. No, an Apple Watch is $800. Has infinity more features. Just a statement piece. Yeah, I want one. A Leica, not a Rolex. I don't fully agree with that. I could see that being the mindset for people who, value the material aspect of it. For me, though, can you name me one other digital camera that has a rangefinder system that can natively mount lenses from the 1950s onto it and get some of the best sharpness out of it, out of any digital camera, with all that vintage charm that is in the same body of a film camera? Don't think you can. So for me, that's what it is. It's not a Rolex to me. For me, it's just a Leica. And what Leica means to me is heritage. It means tradition. It means timelessness. No pun intended for the Rolex. And so I genuinely love, if someone, like the Nikon ZF, that's why I love the Nikon ZF, because it literally feels like the Nikon F, whatever it was, F3 or whatever it was. It feels like that. But I feel like they could have gone a little bit further with it for sure. I think I'd probably use that camera a lot more. One, if Nikon had some more character-filled lenses, or two, a higher megapixel sensor. Because I think that the sensor of the ZF is only like 24 megapixels. So I only really use that camera for fun. Where my Leica M11, I've used it on jobs, but more poetic jobs where I had pretty much full control of what we're shooting. But I was still getting paid to do it, But I've used it for fun. I've used it for more intentional stuff. And yeah. Yeah, they're just fun. The Leicas are really, they put you back into a photographer's workflow and vision. So when we have a modern camera, like it does everything for you. And so you're like, oh, great. Like I could focus on just getting the job done. And, it's going to handle all the stuff that I don't have to like miss or mess up. But what I just said there was like, help me get the job done. Sometimes photography isn't getting a job done. Sometimes photography is meant just to be photography. So with that, that's why I like using, things like Leicas. See, you like Triumph Cam. I tried it at 660 a couple years ago, and I love it. I want to upgrade. Yeah, dude, I got my second or third motorcycle was the Triumph Bonneville T100. That thing looked sick. I sanded the paint off, and it was rusting. It was freaking sick. And then I got a Triumph Scrambler, and to this day, it was a 900. That was still my favorite bike. And then I got a Harley 48, and then a Harley 72 Sportster, and then I got the Triumph 400X. So I had that Harley 72 and the Triumph 400X now. Those are my two bikes I have right now. But I love Harley, but man, I'm just a scrambler guy. Uncle Kofi's in the house. I was almost going to try to do Kofi's accent, and I was like, nope, abort. Don't do it. Less is more, indeed. Also, guys, if you don't know who Blaine is, go check out his YouTube channel. This dude is a legend. He keeps things simple, but smart. So, John's asking if I tried the new Suray 1.5X Anamorphics. They really want me to review them. I asked if I could see some images from them. They didn't have anything, so I hit up a few of the people that I knew that had it. I should take my allergy medicine. I have a few of the people that I knew had it, and everything I saw was like, I don't really like these. But I was getting a lot of questions about it, and so I told Sarah, I was like, hey, if you can pay for my time, I wasn't even asking for that much. It was literally just so I could set aside like a week so I can produce a video about them. And it would be a showcase, but I was gonna, just probably compare them to the Atlas Mercuries and the Blazar Remus, and kind of just educate people like, hey, I don't like these lenses myself, but you might like them because they are cleaner, they have a flatter look, and they are incredibly sharp, and they have some slight anamorphic juice to it. Not a whole lot, but some. So that was gonna be my takeaway. But I pretty much was just, I really didn't want to do it, but I literally just followed up with them and I was like, hey, actually, if you should want to send them to me, I could do a really quick video, and it wasn't going to be sponsored or anything like that. But then they said, oh, we stopped sending all units out for review. So I don't know what that means. But yeah, that's my opinion on those lenses. They look great. They look sharp. Suray has something weird with their lenses, with the saturation that I like, but also don't like at times. But their lenses like really pump up the saturation. I have no freaking clue how they're doing that. But yeah, they look sterile still. So again, the issues with some of the other budget anamorphic companies is their teams might not be filmmakers. They're more engineers. And so to them, they see the task of making perfection. They don't see the task of making tradition. So for me, I like a mix of both. I like traditional anamorphics, but that can be technically refined. So I think the Blazar Remus, if they ever make another version, I would love for them to make the distortion more consistent so we don't have the warping. Because if you're doing any pans, you have to fix that in post. But other than that, I love them. But we can always use more sharpness, but without killing the charm. So I'm hoping that's what they do, but we'll see. Because again, the minority of people who think that anamorphic should be clean tend to be the most annoying and loud. And so those people get heard. And the people who are content are just out there living their lives, enjoying their lives, using their gear content. They're not out there screaming. So we need more people screaming for the other side too. Yeah, barrel distortion is the best. You guys can see, again, we're on the Atlas. Ooh, I'm sore. We need the Atlas Mercury, or we're on the Atlas Mercury 42 millimeter. Lots of barrel distortion. And there's probably, let's check out the flares. The Atlas Mercury's have my best flares ever. So there you go. I wish they were all blue, but they are not. Okay. Here's a good question. At least I just read at the beginning. Can we talk about the creator thing? Someone made a video about it and casted everyone involved in the collaboration in a negative light. Did anyone create a rebuttal to that video? You won't see any rebuttal because it's like check this out. Say if I get 50,000 views on a video, my like ratio is like around 98%. So that means, let's do 10,000. So the math's easier. Out of 10,000 people, what that means 9,500 people loved the video, and then the other 500 people didn't like it. But then those 500 people can go and just make hate videos and try to make everybody else look bad. The reality is some of those people might be a little bit washed up. They might be going through some things. They might be projecting once again. And the issue is these people have zero information. They haven't spoken to anybody directly. It's all hearsay. So when you do that, you're basically a drama TMZ video. You're not actually speaking any facts at all because you don't have any of the facts. So this is why there will never be a rebuttal because, you know, if it was to continue, I have been in contact with the defamation lawyers at YouTube. I have been in contact with specialized content or like creators, lawyers as well. So, you know, there are other avenues to do it without giving these people light because they don't deserve it because they literally are just like bratty liars. But with the creator thing, yes, Creator is a YouTube agency. There's other ones. There's several of them. And for years now, pretty much almost every big creator has been signed to one or another at some point and still are. Some of them still are. It's nothing new. So Creator's thing, I'm not actually part of Creator. I was one of the first ones to sign, but I left just because of differences. You know, I've done commercial work for 10 years. Or not 10 years, but, you know, I've been shooting for 10 years and I was doing commercial work at some point throughout it. And so I'm very experienced, whether some people over there were aware of it or not. I'm very experienced on how to negotiate and put in bids and blah, 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 blah. And so for me, it's easier just to be independent because I can speak directly with brands and I could share my ideas and speak passionately. And if there's any issues, I could figure out ways to go about it and how to fix it and how to resolve it. To where when you're going through an agency, everything has to go through an agency. They're a middleman and it's more strict and professional. And for me, I'm not the most strict and professional person. I am I'm trying to balance my artistic side of my soul with the business side. And so personally, I just like operating independently. So I left that like almost a year ago now. That's how long it's been. So that just goes to show people don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. So I don't know. But yeah, these agencies don't do anything devious. Obviously, if they did, it would come out. You know, shit would hit the fan. They don't do anything devious. Some brands like working through agencies because, you know, they can get to multiple creators at once instead of them having to hire on a bunch of team just to do it. So some brands like it, but other brands like working directly. Some of them like being more personal about it. Personally, I like being more personal about it. I like building relationships with these people because I want to be able to know that I could trust these team people. I want to know that they have my back and I want them to know that they have my back and that we could figure issues out together. And this is how I've gotten some of my collab products and how, if I find an issue with a piece of gear, I can go directly to the company like, hey, can we fix this ASAP? Because if you don't fix it ASAP, I'm going to talk about it in my video and it's going to tank your product. Not tank their product like, oh, a hit piece, but more so it's going to tank anybody taking it serious because I actually like this product and I want it to do well. So can you fix it? So all things like that all the time are happening. Those issues usually being like firmware related, not product related. Vinyl Islands. I like her wildness, irreverent, and energy. If that's a result of ADHD, then it may be a blessing in disguise. The same as creative, it's something we can turn to our advantage. Yeah, it's definitely my ADHD because we're constantly freaking doing dumb shit for dopamine. Yeah, and I would say so. I'm really blessed because when I was a teenager, like 15 or 16, I feel like I really found myself because I haven't really deviated too much from my morals from back then and my creativity. Sorry guys, I know these allergies are insane. And so I've always felt really blessed to have found myself earlier on like that, because it's really, you know, I have a lot of friends who are still trying to figure their stuff out, and it's hard. It's you just gotta kind of find your thing. And you know, with my ADHD, I'm starting to learn more about, you know, me being further down on the spectrum than I ever knew about. And maybe that's something with it, because it's my whole life I had no other option but to be myself. And even if it caused issues, I didn't know how to, you know, I just dealt with it by solitude, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, see, Terry gets wrapped up in all this stuff too. So many people right now are trying to use our names to come up, and it's corny, so most times we don't respond. I agree. And what's funny is, you know, these people call themselves creatives, filmmakers, photographers, whatever they want to call themselves, yet they're making like TMZ drama videos, and they're using our names in the hashtags. Like, that's a little disingenuous. It's a little tacky. It's a little corny. It's a little sad, I would say. So Kofi said, creator thing, it's not worth playing in the mud. If anyone has legitimate questions, feel free to ask anyone in there, respectfully. Yeah, again, guys, I left creator, but I'll answer anything you have. Kofi will answer anything. Terry, we are some of the most freaking honest people. And, you know, other creators can hate us all they want. We're honest. We don't lie about anything. It's kind of like Kofi, Terry, and I specifically, we're in a little group chat, and we are all incredibly annoying. But, you know, there's nothing to lie about. Why chance our name, our respect? Why chance our likeness even over stupid little lies? It's not worth it. And we're all smart enough not to do that. James asks, also, what's up again, James? James is always up in here. Have you ever scanned your own film at home? Since they'll release their new film conversion presets for Lightroom, and I love it. Really easy to get the vintage 50s colors. Yes. So I used to shoot a shit ton of film like 6 or 7 years ago. And I was developing and scanning all of my own film, and I messed up so much of it, but I also got some of the best results ever because I have full control of the process. But God, was it so much work. It was cool though, because I would have like guest models drive out from LA to my hometown of Yucaipa, and we would go on a shoot, and then they would come hang out, and we would develop the film and scan them. They got to see the whole process of it. So I miss doing it, but I really don't have the energy to do that anymore. Which anamorphic lens do you recommend for the Lumix S5 2X, something affordable? If you actually like the anamorphic look, so let's say if you like Blade Runner, Chinatown, there's a million anamorphic movies that aren't coming to my mind right now. If you like the classics and that actual like anamorphic charm, the Blazar Remus B set specifically, that's the most anamorphic look you're going to get for the price. The B set, I would say, give the Atlas Mercury a run for their monies. The Atlas Mercuries are still better, but they're $8,000 a pop. I like the Atlas Mercury's distortion better. I like their some of their, I'll say their bokeh better and their sharpness better and their contrast. But I like the Blazar Remus's anamorphic bokeh more. I like the size more. I definitely like the price more. And everything else is kind of like close to each other. The flares on both are decent. The Mercuries take the run for the money though, for the flares for sure. But if you want something cleaner, I would look at those new Sirui lenses, but those are like, I think they're like $2,000 a pop, I think. But then the Laowa large format nanomorphs. I haven't tried them yet, but everything I've seen, they look pretty good. So what's up, Andrew? Where are you at? What time zone are you in? So Jack George, favorite indigenous project. I went to, for the 4th of July, I went to the Crow Res to spend with some of my friends up there. And sadly, we did not get everything that we needed to make a proper doc. We got one interview, and it was such a fucking beautiful interview. But in the Lumix S1 II, I've only had 2 problems with the Lumix S1 II. Let's talk about this. The second one being, I have put a new card into it that another YouTube channel that I've never seen before recommended for the overheat times. So I got it, took it right out of the box. I don't recall if I formatted the card or not. And again, it was fresh out of the box, straight from Amazon. On top of that, I was using Tilta's new batteries in there as well, which haven't been approved yet in the camera. So we're recording this interview. It's about 15 minutes long, and I'm trying something new here. So that's why I was really excited about it. And next thing you know, my filmer, J-Dog, he's in the chat, it wouldn't stop recording. And we let it record up to like 50 minutes. Didn't overheat. And so I finally took the battery out and recovered the file. We had like 2 minutes of the interview. And so we lost it. And it was either a card issue or a battery issue. To this day, I still don't know. The card, even, I need to return to Amazon. 2 little, like the shark fins in the back that help guide it in. 2 of those broke off the same day. So a million things went wrong with it. So I don't know if it was the camera or the card or the battery. I have a feeling it was the battery. I think there's an issue if you have low voltage, it can cause issues with cameras. Because when I posted about it, people said they've had it done to their Nikons and their Sonys when they're using third-party batteries. So we lost that. The other issue we had, which is like a known thing that can happen with any camera. We were filming, again, this was with Jericho. Maybe all these issues because of Jericho. So we were out in the desert. It was like high 90 degrees. UV index was incredibly high. No shade. Even Jericho and we were feeling really off, and we were probably getting dehydrated. The camera was giving us overheating warnings. I don't recall if it actually overheated, though. I don't think it did. Jericho, if you're in the chat, let me know if it did or not. But that's the only time it's happened. And I've used this in the desert a bunch since then. When we were in a Crow Fair, it was like 90 degrees and semi-humid up there. Still no overheating. So. Do you guys think if I put on Ariana Grande that the live will get snapped? I got her on vinyl. I've been on Ariana Grande kick. Her new album's fucking, it's pretty dope. I've never been a fan of her music, but just recently, actually when we were driving back from Yosemite, I put on one of her songs. I was like, wait a second. I was like, this is a freaking bop. And yeah, then I went on a deep dive. And then that's when I went and got a bunch of freaking music equipment again, because it makes me want to produce again. So I'm going to try it. Probably going to suck, but, you know, we all got to restart sometimes. Person turquoise waving. What emoji is that? Cam's first product video. Roses are red, violets are blue. I like the gear that I like. If you don't like that, then fuck you. Bro, I'm stealing this. Dude, that's a bar. That's dope. Thank you for that. If you see it, I'm probably going to forget where this came from. But if you see the video, comment and say it's yours so I can pin your comment. If I remember that, I'll put you in the description. Your Instagram or something. Colonized by the advertising is YouTube being colonized by the camera and lens industry. Photographers will regret becoming YouTubers, you think? YouTube has been one of the most freeing things in my life ever, because it's given me the possibility of creating whatever I want it to make. And it's all up to me. I am accountable for making things happen. Nobody else. I don't have a creative director, a producer, a company, a brand, an enterprise, or none of that holding me accountable. This is all on my own shoulders to make the things happen that I want to make. So I don't see how anybody would regret this, because there's not one way of doing it. You could do whatever way you want. So if someone thinks they're like high and mighty and like the ultimate filmmaker, then YouTube's a perfect place for them to show that off. There's nothing telling them they can't. There's nothing holding them back besides money. But again, if you're the ultimate filmmaker, money should be an issue. There's something usually pause about new words. That's crazy. We forget some features, highlight, and cons through the company's responsible party to specs. Well, the thing is when we get new gear, we oftentimes don't have enough time. Like, guys, it takes like 6 to 12 months to really, put a camera through its paces and to figure out if there's going to be any issues. And so when we do these launch videos, don't fucking watch them thinking this is the end all be all information. This is purely us doing like first looks on the cameras. Unless you're Gerald Undone, who he's very detailed and he breaks down the things. But there's been times where he's reviewed new cameras and down the road there's issues that he didn't know about or didn't cover. So that's just normal. Like, this shit fucking happens. I don't get why people are blaming YouTubers for shit like this. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. If you want all the information, go fucking read the manual and stop watching YouTube. Oh yeah, dude, that camera actually looks really sick. But yeah, so the fact it's one, it's older. Two, it's a APS-C. Older being, I was scared if it ever needed to be repaired, since it's such like a oddball camera. Humanity pencil Blazar. Yeah. I think the real conversation here that Ari's looking to sail is, what does that say for the industry? That the top camera in the industry, most used camera, is clearly trying to get out. What does that mean? What does that mean for Hollywood? What does that mean for indie work? What does that mean for commercial work? What does that mean for YouTube? Think about the possibilities. A quick thought I had while saying that, I'm going to get a little bit nerdy right here. When I was like 16 or 17 years old, I got really into the Bible. I read 2 versions of the Bible, front to back, full on, read the full Bible twice within like 3 months. And a year after that, or a year or so or less, I like randomly found a video about physics, astrophysics. Next thing you know, again, this is all ADHD bullshit, me going on deep dives. Next thing you know, I'm going on a deep dive about physics. And it broke everything I've ever known. And anytime I talk to people about this, they can't really comprehend it. Because it takes more than just like a random dude telling you the facts. But real quick, so we have our sun, right? Around that sun, we have planets orbiting around it, okay? One of those planets being ours. When we look out into the sky, all those blinking lights, those are other stars and planets. The stars, those are suns. Those suns could have other planets around them, okay? Already, that's like crazy. All the stars you see out there could be planets orbiting those twinkling lights. That's kind of crazy. Then we zoom out past that, okay? Then we get outside of our galaxy, okay? And our galaxy has multiple different universes within that galaxy, okay? Mind-blowing. Then you zoom out, there's countless of galaxies, and we can't even see past that. And space is constantly expanding as well. So by the time that our satellites, man, my views are dropping down. By the time our satellites actually sees a close-up of one of these stars, that star could be dead already. Because by the time, because that light that we see of that planet traveled light years to get into the lens of that telescope or whatever it is. And so by the time it got here, that planet could be long gone already. So knowing the vastness of that, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, just think about the possibilities of the filmmaking space. Like everybody who's like stuck in this traditional mindset of like, oh, Hollywood did it this way, so Hollywood has to, like, we have to do it this way. It's like, no, a lot of the directors that we worship, they didn't do things the way that they were told to do things. And that's how they became top dogs. So everybody who thinks YouTube shouldn't be taken serious, it's surpassing watch time from streaming, like streaming platforms and everything. I appreciate it, brother. What sensor does the ZF have? I haven't looked into the ZF at all, but if it had the same sensor as the Z8, oh my God, take my money. Some people take gear way too serious. It's just stuff, people. Exactly. It's so weird, but it just goes to show, I think a lot of people are dealing with coming to terms that maybe they're not an artist, and, you know, with the industry kind of slowing down, I think a lot of people are going to be asking themselves of like, wait, what's my worth? Like, if I can't find work now, what is my worth? Where's my value? So I think those people who come to YouTube start looking at YouTubers thinking, oh, I have more value than you, I need to destroy you. I think that's their mindset. So I moved over to the GFX 102. If you ever shot anamorphic on that camera, if you had a more lens, what would you get? I do have that, and I do think I tested the Blazar Remus on it. The issue is with the GFX 100 is it doesn't do the open gate recording on it. So you can't ever get the actual full coverage, but the Fujifilm Eterna cinema camera will have open gate. So once that's out, I'll test all the anamorphic lenses I have for it. Oh, see guys, Kofi has the lenses, but I don't. So ask Kofi. Kofi, what do you think about them? I'm telling you guys, they were on WhatsApp texting me every day saying, hey. But I'm genuinely not really interested in them at all. If I was to cover them, it purely just so I can show you guys like how clean they look. And it's like, if you like that, sure. But if you want the real anamorphic look, I suggest these other lenses. So it's in Suri's best interest probably not to send them to me. But I would say some people, you know, like that look. And if they like that look, I hope I could showcase and show them a comparison. Hey, yo. Yeah, where's that like at, yo? Hey, yo, Vision 35. What's up? Yeah, some of these people do seem like they're tapped out. Yeah, it's weird. It is weird. They're not gonna. It's just crazy. I don't know. Issues with the potato jet, smaller tripod, just not legs not collapsing. I have the initial release orange accent color one. I don't think so. It's just like any other tripod, to where if the legs are sprawl out and you're trying to push it down, it doesn't want to go down, because that's kind of what the purpose is. So yeah, I don't think I have any issues with it. I was supposed to review this way back, but trips kept falling apart, and I wasn't getting all the stuff that I needed. Techno Ruda, for photography or filmmaking? I'm sure. I've never tried any hard drugs like that before. It's not really, I've always loved my brain, and I never felt the need to distort it. I used to drink, but I barely even do that these days. I think I find it funny because a lot of the Chinese brands that like NAB and stuff, I guess they thought I was like some like party animal, like doing drugs and drinking. I'm like, no, I'm like incredibly boring. Exactly. It's very weird. And again, I bet you they're going to clip some of this, be like, TMZ. It's kind of crazy though, that like I'm always having these like moments of gratitude where I was like, the people I've been watching for the past 5 years, I now get to text them and have like really heart to heart, like emotional conversations with them. And then also like, seeing hate videos being made about me and like rumors and stuff. It always brings me gratitude, because I'm just like, holy shit, like how did I get here to where people are trying to use my name for clout and stuff? Like, it's kind of wild to think about. And I also laugh at it, because I'm just like, I'm just me. I just talk about shit that I like. And for some reason, people hate it. Some people, few people. But yeah, it is kind of disheartening though to see, you know, our space become a little bit parasocial and dramatic, to where, you know, on here you used to be able just to like talk about shit you like, and shit you use to make the shit that you like. And now just you get attacked for everything now. So that's what comes with growth of a niche, I guess. You get, people start caring about the individual behind the camera, good and bad. And, yeah, but it's even gotten to a point where I try not to post where I'm at on my stories until I leave. I mean, that was kind of happening to me before YouTube, just because of from like Instagram and living in LA. But not like in like a crazy fan experience or anything like that, but just like, I'm very, I like my space and my alone time, and I'm learning, it's probably because I am, you know, on the spectrum in some form. And so I don't like to be, like, I don't mind people come up and say hi and stuff, but like getting engaged in conversations, sometimes I'll be in the mood for it, but most of the time I'm kind of just like, it's exhausting for me. And it's nothing against the person. It's just more so, you know, it's tiring for my brain. Maybe I'll make a video talking about this of, you know, being on the spectrum in some form, what it comes with, because it comes with a lot of stresses and masking. And that's what I've been learning. No, local honey doesn't work. I have to use Claritin D. That's the only stuff that works. And you have to give them your license to purchase it. It's really, really weird. But they only have the generic stuff, and I feel like it might not be working as well. Oh, yeah. That group chat is wild. It is so bad. Yeah. Yeah, see, Terry and Kofi. Yep. Hey, Jamie Finn, what's up, bro? Bro, that new thumbnail, you looking zesty, brother. Yes, sir. Again, guys, if you guys have any questions, like, I'm an open book. When it comes to like all this stuff, I literally have not done one thing that I feel guilty about, that I felt was disingenuous, that I thought was wrong. I haven't done anything like that. So if you have any questions, literally ask them away. I got nothing to hide. Or you can just go make a hit piece video without asking, because that makes sense. Oh, bro. Ukaiba's my hometown, bro. Where you at now? I am contemplating moving back to LA once again, though. I love where I live, because I have access to all my hometown, like mountains and the Josh Tree is just like 40 minutes away. But it is, there's not a whole lot of artists out here. And that part of me does crave those relationships. Even in passing, even just being at a cafe and talking to a fellow artist, like it's so invigorating. But Redlands doesn't really have that, sadly. I know consistency in what I like in Ken's character. Sometimes I'll use the Marshmallow Soft Remus A set. Sometimes it's insanely sharp Nisio rear lenses. Lens character. I was about to say, what are you talking about, bro? Yeah. Sometimes I need cleaner. Sometimes I just want cleaner. Sometimes I want charm. Sometimes I want grit. Like, usually I want grit, but sometimes I want other stuff. Hello, does your new black paint Leica have magenta shift? I'm one of those people that I really don't give a fuck about color shifts in cameras, and because Every lens has color shift. Every V&D filter has color shift. Every diffusion filter has color shift. Every light has color shift. Every object has color shift. The sun can have color shift depending what the atmosphere is doing. If there's smog, if it's bouncing off concrete, bouncing off grass, everything has fucking color shift. There's nothing that's truly neutral. With that said, Jesus, I can't breathe. There's damn allergies. With that said, if a camera has color shift, I do not fucking care. Because in post, I can simply shift it over. Nothing is neutral. Nothing. Street and nature photos. Okay, this is fun. For photography, street and nature photos. I might say, well, nature photos. That could be landscapes or wildlife. If you want to go Sony for autofocus, I would do the A7C II. I think that's below 2000. The issue with that, the colors, you're not going to have fun with the internal colors, and the EVF is dog shit on that. Same with the new $5,000 freaking RX1R. I actually love that camera, but not for $5,000. For $4,000, I think it would be doable. For Nikon, guys, I'm getting really uncomfortable here because I cannot breathe from my allergies. So sorry if I'm fidgeting. Jesus. It gives me anxiety because I literally, my nostrils, it feels like my nose is running, but they're also just like clogged. There's not any snot in them. It's just like irritated, and I can't breathe. And so it makes me, it gives me anxiety. How come my mic's not bending? Come on. I don't want to spill everything. So let me just sit back and relax. My cold brew coffee is probably not helping, so I'm adjusting myself. I'm a mess right now. The Nikon ZF, absolutely love that camera because it has a lot of, it's really fun to use in hand. It feels amazing in hand. The quality feels amazing. And their 40 millimeter lens that you can get with it is beautiful. Absolutely love that setup. I don't know what the price is on that one too. I'm horrible at remembering numbers. But I think that one's under $2,000 as well. I think those are the main ones I would recommend. Yeah, the Lumix S9, but there's no mechanical shutter, so I don't know if I would recommend that as a primary stills camera. If you're doing hybrid stuff, I think it's great. I think that's it, really. Yeah, I guess that's it. You can always do Fujifilm stuff too, but the crop sensor, if you're just shooting for fun, it's fine. But if you ever want to print stuff, you know, you're going to get a little more juice out of a full frame. I appreciate it, bud. I just have the Amaran 150C bouncing into one of those foldable scrims. That's it, just to get some light on me. It doesn't look soft or pretty, but it does the job. When you take a photo now, do you imagine what happened just before and after the shot, or is that it's a bit hard to shake? No, not really. When I have a photo camera, I think about photo. When I have a video camera, I think about video. The hard part is there's times where I want to do both, and it's hard to do both. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was really pissed off too because I was figuring it was a camera issue, and I was scared to use the camera after that. But I literally have not had that issue again. But I went back to my Angelbird SD cards, and I went back to the Lumix batteries, and I haven't had the issue. So I don't know. I would really love to know what happened to it, but there's no way of finding out unless it happens to somebody else. Actually, it happened to Vu. And Vu was using a dummy battery, and he was recording to SSD, I believe. So the closest thing there is the battery. So yeah. But I think Lumix probably should do this warning, because when you put a third-party battery into a Sony camera, it warns you. And I've always thought it just did that because, for money. So you were forced to buy their batteries. But after that, I was like, oh, there might actually be some actual use behind that. Yeah, Terry said his S12 overheated once on him. It was also 95 degrees, crazy UV index, direct sun for about 40 minutes using open gate and also 4K 120. Yeah, I feel like most cameras probably would have overheated in that unless it was an actual cinema camera. And that's the point of cinema camera, guys. Cinema cameras have fans in them. They're made to just, you know, just to get the job done. Where these hybrid cameras, none of them are going to be able to hold up to that. I think people said the FX3 were overheating on him too. Yeah, see, Jericho, I'm catching up to the chat. By that time where the S12 gave us the heat warnings, it just gave us warnings. It didn't actually overheat. But we took precautions because I was like, I don't even want to deal with this overheating. So I think maybe we went to 16:9 or something. I forgot what we did. Big Cook is in the house, bro. I hope you know, in our group chats, we're always talking about you in good ways. And we're excited to have you back if you do come back. But yeah, dude, you'll see. You'll see. We're putting some good words in for you too. So hopefully, you know, we can help you out because, yeah, I think your channel, if you guys don't know who Jeremiah Cook is, he's Big Cook. Go check out his channel. Very fucking genuine, grounded, upfront, blunt as fuck. I wish I could be as blunt as him, but I would get attacked like crazy. But the way he does it, it's poetic. So go and check out his channel. Yeah, so speaking of that, circling back to that Rokinon Samyang 35-150, when I first got it, it kept locking up my S1R2. And it's an issue with the lens, and I have to wiggle the lens, and then it would remake contact again. And then I saw there was a firmware update for it, so I did the firmware. It fixed it. It still happens every once in a while, but when it does happen, the whole camera just locks up. So we got Armando Fiera in the house. The whole Shield Team 6 is here. What'd you ask? I'm pretty sure you've been on a screen. That's how we like it. No, but if you see me like open up a video with that bar, please, please, please put it in the comments. Just say like your thank you for that quote, or just do something fun, and I'll pin it because that was a dope quote. Questions for the creators in the room, Cam and Terry included. Who's going to NMB in New York City in October? I'm on the fence whether to fly over. Is there a NAB going? Guys, I'm fucking dying to go back to New York City. So this might be a fucking sick excuse. Huh. Huh. We might have to do that, guys. Oh, shit. Yeah. Guys, Covey said, I feel like I should smoke a joint before hearing Cam's religion talk. Yeah. My mom, even when I was a teenager, said she would always say I was the pothead without the weed. Because I would just go on weird tangents about things I learned about. Sorry, guys. I'm just catching up. My astrophysics tangent. This is funny. So major TV networks are coming to YouTube. It's already been in conversation for a while, and with the huge budgets, they overtake a lot of the viewerships. Thing is, their first product will be ass. Yeah, that's what that's what YouTube is all about. It's about authenticity, transparency. All the channels that have the hardcore host vibes, you guys. Don't be shocked when you start seeing them being a little bit more upfront and maybe cursing and sharing a little bit more of themselves, because that's what it's coming to. Because we get produced media anywhere, but where can you get somebody in real life making real art, being themselves while talking about the same things that you're into? That's what's fucking beautiful about YouTube. So, when I saw Will Smith I'm kidding. When I saw Will Smith start producing more content for YouTube, a lot of us were like, this is it. This is the inklings. This is the the beginnings of what's to come. So you're going to see a lot more celebrities trying to act more grounded and real and authentic and humanizing themselves using social media. Or before, a network will absorb other shows to add theirs, i.e. YouTube channels. Yep. Networks have tried. Discovery bought. So the first time I went to LA, I was in, I think I was like 20 years old. My roommate was a producer for Philip DeFranco's show, an editor. I forgot which one he was doing at the time, but he did both at some point. And Discovery bought them out. I don't know if they ever said the number, but it was millions. I don't want to say the number because I don't know if it's out there. But it was a lot of money. And the network basically has absorbed his channel and all the series that they had going on there. And so they tried it before, but Discovery kind of ruined those channels because they were producing content, but they weren't producing authenticity behind the content. I will say not soon enough, but soon. Just like to, because creators need to use. Yep. Man, I really got to take my allergy medicine. I'm dying. Yep. Kofi's on it right here, guys. Kofi and I, and a couple other guys, we talk about a lot of this stuff. And, yeah, these platforms will probably hire people within YouTube. But then, you know who probably won't get brought in? People making, I'm a filmmaker, ergo, I'm better than you videos. Yeah, because when these networks come to YouTube, they're not going to be looking at the people talking about drama. They're going to be looking at the people who are taking action and building real audiences, not off drama and the parasocial, not people making videos about YouTubers, but people making videos for YouTube, you know? Dude, the Apex are still my favorite Blazar lenses, hands down. I like them more than the Mantis. I like them more than the Remus. I like them more than the Katos. I like them more than all of them. I just wish they were full frame. Dude, yes. Okay. Markman05. Dude, I said this, I think last month or so. He said, filmmaking is finally hitting the same problems as musicians and producers. When music went digital, old school producers hated it. Not only this, when music went to streaming, it flipped everything upside down. But now, somebody with crazy work ethic and who's talented, they can produce 100 reels of a song they believe in. If one of those reels go viral, a record label will be at their front door, begging them to sign. So where before, if you guys don't know how the music industry worked, there's A&R reps. These A&R reps were basically out there going to live shows and going to MySpace and being in the community and trying to find the next big act. Now they don't have to do that. Record labels are literally just sitting on freaking TikTok looking for the next big thing. That's what YouTube's going to become. This is what the filmmaking aspect is becoming now. It's no longer like, oh, you got to get into this this union and blah, 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 and get on set and blah, blah, blah. No, you can go on YouTube and you can figure out ways to make your passion projects. And if they're good, you will get picked up and you could then get into Hollywood. But I think where it's going to go, I think it's going to get to a point where someone's going to be like, fuck Hollywood. I don't want to make this for Hollywood and just for it to get lost in the mix of the mud and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to release it on YouTube. I can make money off the back end off of it and I can still get it seen. Jamie said, what's your take on how AI is going to change filmmaking and YouTube content over the next few years? Do you see it more of an opportunity or a threat? So I said this a year ago. I think with AI, companies are going to use it. There's going to be niche companies who are like, oh, all of our content's human made. And I think that will be the standard going to the future. But I think just how vinyl's making a comeback, just how these old digicams are making a comeback, how thrift stores are making a comeback, how, analog is always making a comeback. I think humans crave analog because it's in a digital age. It's like we're all going to become Wall-E. We're going to be all fat in floating chairs, having everything done for us. There's no life in that. And so I think the generations to come are going back and being like, wait, why'd you guys ever abandon this? Because, you know, not everything needs to be easier. Sometimes being human is challenging yourself and going through the processes. And so I think that's going to follow suit in our industry here with AI. I think AIs will plateau in terms of the way we use it, on where we use it for the things that make our lives easier and our jobs easier and quicker. But it's not going to replace our creativity and human creativity, because AI will never have heartbreak. AI will never have loss. AI will never have wins. AI will never, have trauma. AI will never have challenges. And that's where some of the best art comes from. Hey, bud, I'm right over in Redlands. We're not far. Kofi, calm down, bro. I gotta get that off the screen. I didn't read it before I put it on there. Yeah, dude, I've tried neti pots and like they work in the moment, but I remember one time I was so congested, it went back into my brain basically. So I stopped using them. I just have to use it for allergy medicines. Yeah, Big Cook. Basically all of us are going to Sean like, yo, can we get him something? Come on, let's yeah, we've been vouching for you, bud. I'm sorry, bro. Let me lie. Let me lie. Brandon Washington is 6'2". What's another lie? Here's another lie. Terry Warfield is buff. Here's another lie. Here's a lie. Canon is great. There's some lies. About said, your content here on YouTube is really different. I'm a huge fan. What keeps you motivate to keep producing content with all this TikTok, IG, and short stuff? Big hug from Brazil. I appreciate it, brother. I'm stubborn. I don't care what's trending and what platform's doing what. I do what I need to do to make myself happy. And that happiness also coincides with my morals. And so, I don't ever feel the need to like do something immoral, because that's just not me. So, yeah. And also the other part of me, like my business brain is like, we can either bitch and cry that vertical content is the way to grow now, or we could suck it up and fucking do what we got to do to make things happen. So, my main focus is still long form. But sometimes I have to remind myself to make some vertical content or to utilize my main content for vertical. Yeah, guys. So Big Cook, again, go check out his channel. We all really respect him because he's real. Like, I bet you if I did something wrong, Big Cook will call me out and I'd be like, damn, all right, Big Cook got me there. All right. So this is how dope he is. So everybody go check out his channel. Yeah, the L-Mount Alliance kind of ruins things because you have to play ball with them. And I've been told, I wasn't told this through Blazar, but I have a bunch of contacts in China across the industry. And I was told, I think it's like a big lump sum of money in order to join the L-Mount Alliance. And then basically all your, I don't know if any of this is true. I'm just sharing what I've been told. But whatever you design, like all your information, you have to share with them. So it's kind of a lot to ask, I think. So I don't know. Yeah, it kind of sucks. The L-Mount Alliance is kind of annoying. I think I feel like it ruins, or it kills, what's the word? I'm forgetting the word. But yeah, like design and blah, blah, blah. Denmark proposed a law, copyright and physical, giving copyright of their physical appearance, voice, and face to make laws catch up with AI. Yeah, that's dope. I don't think the U.S. government would ever care because it seems like the AI companies are in our politicians' pockets already. Oh man, I don't remember what it is. I'm about to go back and watch it myself. I had to call it brainwashed in. All right, guys, viewership's dripping off. Dripping off. Oof. Pause. Yes. Alamanox. Innovation. That's what I meant. All right, guys, I'm going to dip off. I've been on for an hour and a half. I'm going to go take my freaking allergy medicine and blow my nose and take my dog on a walk. Walking usually helps clear my congestion. So, yeah, this was fun. Just wanted to catch up with you guys. I'm trying to keep up on work, but I'm battling getting stuff done because I just want to make poetic stuff. I want to make music right now, but I suck at it because it's been a while. But yeah, peace, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in.